All right, this will be a little shorter Podhalla segment here because it's going to be focused around Unrivaled. And I've been taking some notes, been watching my mist. I've liked a lot of what I have seen. It's a very easy watch. It's almost like I don't know if this is a good thing. I don't like I'm interested in who wins. I'm interested in who does well, but I'm so not tied to who it like to the late game stuff and does this win mean anything? Because we're so early in the season and we haven't established the teams and what the players get from winning and all this stuff because it's such a new league. But I will say it is a very easy watch and something that I don't necessarily get spoiled on. So if I'm watching the Mist like the other night, they played the Breeze, and I'm watching that game and I'm like, I kind of feel like the Breeze won this game because I saw something about Paige, but I don't know for sure, and I don't even know what the end of the score was. So I watched it later, and actually still haven't finished the game, but there was no like, oh my gosh, I missed. Already saw the score, so I can't watch the game. Kind of feeling like when you watch NBA stuff. Okay, so I'm gonna go with the things that I like here, and you can give feedback as you want. So I like the 3-on-3 aspect of it because with less players on the court, you can focus on the singular players on the court. Like when you watch the game, you can just watch Brianna the entire game. You can watch Stewie and just see what she's doing, see what angles she's trying to use. You can just see the matchup she's trying to get. How are they running this pick and roll to get her on a smaller player? And if you are a fan of Brianna Stewart, you can literally just watch her the entire game and just go, man, she's so fun to watch. Similarly with Paige. Paige was on fire, just pulling up everything, 3-pointers, mid-range, getting to the cup, like everything. You had the full Paige suite in this game against the Mist, and I was just like, I think she might actually get some MVP votes next year. Like that's how good she already is. But this 3-on-3 game, what it allows is the open court, the open flow. You're essentially running a weave up and down the court all game long. And it allows for the movement, but it also allows you to really see who the players are. On a 5-on-5 game, you can see it decently well as well, but you can even see it better. So if you are a fan of the player or a specific player or a star player, I think it's very easy to see these players on court in 3-on-3.
Yeah.
All right. 7-minute quarters is kind of perfect. I love it. The game zips by. You're not sitting there for 2.5 hours like that Warriors Raptors game was last night. There's not 100 challenges. The action is free flowing. It's pretty physical. They don't call that many fouls. So, but 7 minutes is perfect. Like I kind of thought when they first started, I was like, seems short. It's like not even like it's like a not even junior high school game quarters, but it works in the flow of that game. And then if you have a close game, the Elam ending works really well because they go commercial free in that last period. And that last period is like meaningful basketball. Like I'm like, okay, like this is where it's at. The Mist played, I forget who they played 2 games ago, but they were up a lot, and the game then the other team kept chipping back in. They got close, and then by the time the Elam ending happened, they were only up 4, and then they kind of, they won the final period very well to extend that game. But I like the Elam ending in these games. If it's a blowout, the Elam ending, it doesn't matter. It's just like a normal fourth quarter, but you don't have the in some fourth quarters in the NBA, if there's like last night, if there's a 20-point lead, you kind of put in scrubs and you can lose a lead. In this, not really doing that because you have a small roster. So the Elam ending kind of works against you in blowouts, but in close games, I do really enjoy it.
I'm glad you've been watching more than I have. I've been straight on the college women's basketball train for pretty heavily for the past couple weeks.
A lot of blowouts in college basketball these days.
Yeah, it's kind of uglier hoops, more blowouts. I don't know. Yeah, that's that. I think I saw that the No Offseason put out a podcast of like something about is like the Unrivaled hype dying down in year 2.
Yeah, and so what they are basing that information on, and we don't have to get too sports business or sports media in here, is so TNT and TBS, they lost the Turner networks. They lost the NBA. So one of the bonuses for the leagues like Unrivaled, the NHL, AEW wrestling, one of the bonuses for being on that network is it was the NBA network. So you could always get commercial time during the NBA to promote your league. Like imagine you're watching the Warriors and the Lakers and then you see an Unrivaled commercial. Like now, if you're watching the Warriors and the Lakers, maybe you're watching it on ESPN, maybe you're watching it on Peacock. You're not getting that Unrivaled commercial time in there. So what's happening is their TV ratings are down, but the story, it was a partial story, because what is actually happening is, this is the one thing they didn't mention. The way that ratings are being tracked today have changed, and the bigger sports are benefiting and the smaller sports are not benefiting. So it's a ratings measurement. And so what we don't know about Unrivaled is if you were to compare the way that they did the ratings last year with the way that they do the ratings this year, I'm going to guess those numbers are going to be slightly closer. But the other part is that a lot of people watch this on HBO Max, and HBO Max does not give viewership information. So you don't really know that part of it. I'm going to guess that it is a little bit down from last year, but I don't think it is like, oh my gosh, Unrivaled is dead. I don't think that that's the problem here. I think it's just you need to give fans a reason to care about this thing. Now, the other thing is the WNBA is in a labor dispute. So a lot of the conversation about women's basketball, pro women's basketball, is kind of negative right now. So that's also some of it, I think, is that people are just like, oh, well, what are they going to do? You know, always what happens in these labor agreements. We're going to see it in baseball next year. People are going to hate baseball for taking time away and having these, can't, you guys are adults, can't you figure it out? You guys are rich. So there's all these conversations about the WNBA right now is negative. So I think that affects it a little bit as well. But I think it's actually a benefit, because I'm like, okay, well, what if the WNBA misses games? At least I get to watch some women's basketball here in Unrivaled.
Yeah, and I think Unrivaled does a really good job at like marketing to my generation, but I almost feel like my generation is kind of like kind of on the decline of long form content consumption.
You tell me, do you see Unrivaled content on TikTok?
A lot. The players are really good at marketing. The league's really good at marketing, because you have these young players who are making TikToks and involving the veterans, and the veterans make TikToks too. Like it's all, very good. And I just wonder, I think the marketing's good, but I just wonder how many people from my age range are actually like tuning in because of it. But I think it's just, purely because like you watch the YouTube of the game, the TikTok of the game, and not actually tune into the live. But
they got to be able to monetize that, or they got to be able to use it for marketing in some way. And I'm not sure anybody has really figured out a way to do that, because the product on TikTok, it creates awareness, but it is not what you're getting paid for. You're getting paid to draw eyeballs to TNT and HBO Max, and not necessarily TikTok. So how do you transition those viewers to create the awareness to go watch on long form? And maybe, like you said, maybe they just won't. So then you have to figure out how to monetize the short form content. Maybe, and I always thought about this from the perspective of other sports, which is like at the end of every quarter, let's say the Golden State Warriors, their social team takes all of the best highlights and bottles it down to 90 seconds. And then, they put it out like literally after the quarter is over and they go, here's what you missed. And then you
Mm.
have it and you go, game is on whatever channel. Maybe that 90 seconds is enough to where the person's like, I don't need to watch the rest of the game. But maybe you may get a hook to bring people to go, oh, yeah, I forgot the game is on. Oh, man, it's close.
Yeah.
I
Who
should watch
does
the
that?
fourth quarter.
I want to say it's one of the new streaming platforms for the NBA, whether it be Prime
Peacock
or
or
Peacock.
Amazon?
Yeah, it's either Amazon or Peacock that does
I think
like
it's pretty
watch
smart.
the plays you missed.
Yeah.
Here's what's catch you up to live. Here are the key plays. I think that's smart.
All right, I have a couple of things that I think that they could improve on, and the biggest thing I think that's out there is they need to market the matchups, not the teams, because nobody cares about the team names. No one is a vinyl fan. No one is a Phantoms fan, but they are a fan of Paige and they are a fan of Kelsey Plum. So if they're playing each other, that should be the marketing. Come watch Paige and Kelsey Plum, because in a 5-on-5 game, there's going to be less actual one-on-one play between these two women than there will be in a 3-on-3, because they're going to have to guard each other. They can't not guard each other. Like, you can hide somebody in the WNBA. Maybe you run a zone, or maybe you have that player on the secondary guard. But here you get to see Paige and Kelsey Plum. I think they need to they need to market for that. Here, when do you get to see Paige and Kelsey Plum just go at it, like, on a small court like they're doing?
Yeah.
I had the idea because of the Elam ending. I wondered if you could have one 4-point shot per game, but it had to be in the fourth quarter and you had to be losing. And so, because the court is small, so the second you cross over the half court line, you're on the logo, and then only a few feet after the logo is where the actual 3-point line is, at the top of the key. And so I just wondered, like, you could hit one per game, and it would have to be in the fourth period, and you have to be losing. I wonder if that would be interesting. I wonder, in some cases, it might just be silly at the end, like half court shots, but I thought that would be something worth thinking about, because it's a deep shot, and you strategically could put in your sharpest shooter, your sharpest long distance shooter. Your Kate Martin actually maybe has more value in the fourth quarter than she would in the rest of the game. So that was an idea. And I think just better video packages explaining who these women are. Like, I was thinking of the podcast. What was the podcast that went live over All-Star break, and they just had a bunch of lives? The two women, the partners.
Oh, the Stud Buds?
Yeah, the Stud Buds. You know how they went live and they were just like, that was like part of the thing. Like, there is a way to do that with not exactly that, because I think that's, it's more fun, but if you want to introduce the backstories of some of these women, where did they come from? How did they get into the league? Like, I would love to know more about Dominique Malonga. She was sending people back, like their shots were going up and she was like damn near grabbing them out of midair. Like, I would love to learn. I would love to see a 3-minute segment at halftime on Dominique Malonga and where she came from, how she learned how to hoop, what got her into hoop, like, just so you learn more about the players. And again, that goes back to my Paige versus Kelsey Plum. I don't really care about these teams. They're just all created out of thin air. Show me who these women are. I think they could do that. And then the last one, I think this is necessary. Got to get Caitlin to play. Got to get Asia to play. There's no reason Angel. There's no reason Sabrina shouldn't be playing, because all of these women have brands. Asia should be like, oh yeah, here's my unrivaled version of the A1. for Sabrina, here's my unrivaled version of my shoe, and this is going to be the shoe that I wear during my unrivaled season, and here's different variations of it. Like, you just need to pay them more for one, but you also need to give them some sort of platform to continue to market their brands. And Caitlin's the big one, right? Like, everyone's dying to see Caitlin play because she missed most of her second season. Now, maybe she wants that to be on the WNBA court rather than the unrivaled court, but you need to get those women on there, because this is like remember we used to play NBA Street on PlayStation. It's like, okay, who's your 3 best players on your WNBA team? And then create a league with everybody's 3 best players. That's kind of what Unrivaled is. And so I think you just need to have the best or the most marketable players or the biggest stars or whatever. Like, Asia Wilson not playing is kind of a demerit to the league, I think. She's like, I got better things to do. So those are my ideas.
The only thing I worry about with that league is the injuries, because they're playing just as hard as they are in the WNBA, and it's, way more fast pace, up and down, quick cuts.
Yeah.
So I do worry about the long-term health of these players. Like, what if the Valkyries lose a player for the year in Unrivaled, knock on wood, like New York did with Benijah Laney Hamilton last year? It just feels like I turned on the game like for 2 minutes, I think last week, and I just saw like 5 players hit the deck. I was just like, oh man. But yeah, super entertaining league. And the one thing, because I know we're about to end it, though, I agree with everything you're saying, but I was just going to turn the focus for 20 seconds to women's college hoops, because I feel like I sent you a draft comp. Like, I think someone did like a mock draft and then like even like a WNBA comparison and an NBA comparison. And I want to say someone got Will Richard. Was it Gabriela Jaquez that got Will Richard?
I don't even remember now.
I forgot who got Will Richard, but she played. I watched her. I watched UCLA versus Maryland. Man, it would be sick if the Valkyries got Gabriela Jaquez, because she's doing all the cutting stuff Will's doing. She could hit 3 like Will. And I think that, if one of the big 5 in our fam, AZ Fudd, Olivia Miles, Tanaya Latson, Flau'jae, Lauren Betts, if one of those players, fall to 8, then I guess you do take them. But if not, like, I like the floor of Gabriela Jaquez for the Valkyries.